Oh, goodness. Way to start off a video. Hey, this is Russ, also known as RK Slade, coming at you with some Fortnite Battle Royale gameplay. We're going to start today's clip off with some highlights. Now, I'm playing a duo with a friend from the Marching Band is Awesome community, Dented S, and we are going to set up right over this hill and wait for some folks to come. And of course they do, and Dented got set up a little bit late, so they saw him first. And they didn't see me at all, and so this is the way that you eliminate somebody who's not paying attention to their surroundings, going after one kill. So they did down Dented, but fortunately they didn't touch me at all, so I was able to go over and get the revive. Just a tip, when you're playing duos, spread out a little bit, and make sure that you know where the other person's teammate is. In this clip, we have several things going on. We have a good time coming into Flush Factory. It's one of my favorite places to go. Now, what happens immediately here is that I realize that I'm not alone, and that I am in some trouble because then we got another person, so there's at least two folks here. I fall and then begin to run for my life. So you can see I'm going to try to use the obstacles, throw in a little trickery here, and run back where I came from. Now they're still behind me, I can hear them. They are chasing me, but that truck gave me just a new life. Kind of run up the stairs, kind of dip here. Hopefully throw them off my case. I mean off the chase. And they are behind me, behind the containers. Hello! That was a good shotgun blast. Fortunately, I used the containers to my advantage, and they weren't able to get another shot. One more shot and I was dead, but that first shotgun blast was not a headshot, obviously, or I would be dead. And you can see there, I picked up the shotgun they had. They didn't hardly have any loot, but... So what can we learn from this particular clip? Probably just be careful when you push somebody, because... especially if all you have is a pump shotgun, because if you don't finish them quickly and they find a gun, they can turn around and finish you. So that's what happened there. Now I know that there's a couple more folks over here in the factory, and so instead of running away, I've got full health, use my med kit, and I am going to push back in by the dump truck here. Sometimes there's a chest spawn, and today there's not, so... we saw that person to the right just as they started firing, and so thankfully they didn't wreck us too bad. We're going to make our presence known there. So in that little exchange, I actually came out ahead, and they decided to run into the factory and hide. Now I know that they are sitting actually right behind that roll-up door on the other side of this wall, so what I'm doing is making as much noise as I can to make them think that I am coming in that way. Now they can probably still hear my footsteps, so they're probably confused. They're still sitting right behind that roll-up door right there. I was able to see their foot just sticking out just a little bit, so I decided to try and do a massive flank. I'm going to run around the whole place. Hopefully nobody else is here, and see if I can catch them unaware from the other side. And so here you can see I'm looking for them across the room. And if you look just close, you can see their head peeking out. I see it. And we finished the job. So the lesson to be learned in this clip is use flanks, use noise to cause a distraction, but also if you're hiding from somebody, unless you've got full cover, it's probably a good idea not to be stationary. So in that situation I would have kept running until I didn't hear footsteps again. I would have built, I would have done something to try to get more cover. And that person just sat there. They didn't move at all because, I ran around the whole building and came back and they were still in the same place. Now here's some condensed highlights from a full game. And this is one of the best games that I've played recently. And you'll see why in just a minute. It does end up being a frustrating match because of the way things play out. But I do make it into the end game. And score some fairly high kills for me. I'm not going to tell you how many at this point, but let's just put it this way. Anything above 2 kills is a high kill game for me. So I'm getting started off in this area that I love to land in. This is near Retail Row. It's a little bit south of Retail Row. So right now, Retail Row, you can see it come in and out of the picture. It's over there to the left. Now I'm a little bit to the east and northeast of Retail Row now. These ruined houses here that kind of run parallel to Retail Row all the way back to the bike track are just a great place to land. Low traffic, not a lot of folks, so you're not going to run into a whole lot of early gun battles. There's usually a chest spawn right here in this location. There's not. You can see I'm looking back into Retail Row there. There's the water tower. If you're familiar with Retail Row, you know where that is. To my northeast and east, there is the bike track, so I'm going to head that direction. And usually what I'll do is I'll land at the little cliff right to the south of Retail Row. There's a barn there. That's where I started this match. We do have some action here. This is our first encounter. A lot of times when I'm playing this little stretch from the cliff back to the bike track, I'll always run into one or two people who either jumped farther back by the bike track or they're just kind of coming from the Lonely Lodge area. But I got set up pretty good here. I picked up a few blue weapons, traded out my ARs for some blues. My shotgun as well. Now I've got a purple scoped AR, and I see this other person over here. They're probably coming from back behind the stands at the end, at the back side of the bike track back there. I'm trying to push up on this person real slowly just to kind of see where they're going. They are kind of looking around a little bit. But in this situation, you know, I don't know the exact distance you have to be away from somebody when you start hearing their footsteps, but I was kind of aware of that, and I was being real cautious. And I don't have full health here. I decided to see if I can flush them out. The house is a good place to hide, but if somebody's throwing grenades on you, you kind of need to move or else you get exploded. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. 3 grenades wasted, and I have no clue where that person went. Someone who's a little bit more aggressively minded probably could push that and get the win there, or get the kill there. This day I wasn't feeling froggy, so I decided to push back just a little bit, use the tree as a little bit of a visual blockage there, and hopefully maybe wait them out. Now you can tell by the change in the lighting that a little bit of time has gone by, and I happened to notice a little movement in that bush there, and so I was like, okay, sucker, I got you. And sure enough, that was the person. Well, I'm 80% sure that was the same person, but push up the hill to grab their loot. So not much in the way of, trading out guns or anything, but I do get a good bit of resources and some bandages, which I need a little bit later. I've got 64 health. Probably should have used one bandage to get me up to 75, but when I'm that close, usually I feel like I'm wasting a bandage if I use it just to get those 11 points. But probably should have. Did hear the airdrops coming in, lots of supplies. I make a critical mistake here. I did get a chance to switch out to a legendary auto. You can see I've got 2 slurps here. I take one, pick my AR back up, and leave. That's a total mistake. I didn't realize there were 2. Kind of in the rush to go over to this other airdrop, which was right in the same area. It's just on the other side of the track there. I left a slurp juice sitting there. Go ahead, and I'll do this often. I'll go ahead and use a full med kit, especially if I have bandages, to get to full health, and then grab the bandages. Now look at that mistake. I run away without the bandages, but thankfully I realized just a few seconds later that I need the bandages, so I go back, grab the bandages, and we're on our way. Now the circle play in this particular match was phenomenal for me. I hardly had to move at all, so I really just spent most of the time just clearing the area. And this is a really wide open area, so it's, not traveled very heavily, But when there are folks pushing into the circle later in the game, we're almost to the top 20. Here's an example of somebody who probably came from the interior of the island. And so don't really need to trade out guns there. I still have that legendary auto, purple scoped, blue M16, blue shoddy. And so we're kind of pushing over. You can see now we're in the top 15, number 14. And I see rockets flying over there, and I decide to come back over here to this little hill, trying to keep the high ground. But something grabbed my attention from back behind me. I heard a snipe shot, so I decided to see if I could get a kill here just while they're not paying attention. This is that legendary auto sniper in play. Usually I would choose a bolt over an auto, but in this particular situation the guy was moving, so thankfully just a few shots placed in the right direction got me that kill. Now that's kill number 4. Like I said, anything over 2, 3 or so is a high kill game for me, so I'm feeling super confident right here. I got somebody else who pushes in. They don't have a clue where I'm at until just there. They are shotgun blasting me. I don't think they hit me once. Yeah, no, they didn't hit me once because my shield is still at 25. Should have been 50 because I missed that slurp juice back there. But here we go, getting that legendary. Super excited to grab that. Gonna go ahead and shield up here. Want to make sure that I don't leave this legendary scar sitting for everybody to grab. And then at this point, I see a guy lining up a sniper shot over by the base where I just killed that other person. And then the unthinkable happens. I've got 5 kills, which is a decent match for me. And I get the dreadful feeling that something's not right. And then as you can see, my character won't move. All she'll do is spin. And then I get this disconnect. So frustrating. It seems to happen, you know, at times. But anyways, here is the main attraction match today. I've got it sped up super fast. This is actually 500% faster. This is a match where I decide to use only the pickaxe. I was actually going for outliving opponents. It was one of the daily challenges, and so I've got this sped up super fast. I've got some nice chill music. This song in the background is called Londonderry Air. Some folks know it as Danny Boy. It's an old tune. This is me on the piano playing it, and it's kind of my interpretation, expression, based on obviously so many different interpretations and expressions of this song. So it's very familiar, but yet I tried to put my own little spin to it. But anyway, so we're going to sit back and watch the folks that are alive tick down. We're already past the top 50. I sit in this bush for most of the match. This is almost directly in the middle of the map. I decided when I was going for the challenge that instead of trying to fight my way through the outlive opponents challenge, I think it was 150 and 200. I actually got stacked those 2 challenges, so I was knocking out more than one challenge. Now we're down past the top 40. The circle's finally moved, so I realized that at this point I will need to move if I want to actually make it anywhere near the end game. So we're starting to check our options here. Then we decide to move. Definitely checking everything out just to make sure there's nobody pushing up on us here. I've seen pickaxe challenges. I've even seen folks win at the end, but this is the first day that I decided to give it a shot, and I knew I was going to take some damage in the storm. I wanted to, just because I knew, most likely I'm not going to win this thing, but I definitely can, get my challenge taken care of. At this point, I've already got my challenge taken care of. This was the 2nd or 3rd attempt doing this, and so this is actually the farthest I have been on this particular day. Into the top 15 there, you can see. I'm just being sneaky, trying to hang out, making my way around, finding bushes, finding trees. All right, we're going back to real speed now, just so you can kind of see how this plays out. We're in the top 12 now. Somebody's just dropped there ahead of us. Lots of action when you get down to this point. There's a huge mountain within the circle. Somebody's running there right behind me. Excuse me. We let them go ahead and go. Now, I don't know what you would do in this situation. What would you do in this situation? Would you... I don't know if you saw this, but at one point I actually ran past a bunch of guns and I left them. If you were trying to do the survive as long as you can challenge, just made it to the top 10, by the way. But if you were trying to do that challenge, would you run past the guns, leave them be, or would you pick them up and then try to finish the game with some gunplay? Now, obviously, I have chose not to do that. Now, you can see the circle is exactly where I don't want it to be. It's up on the mountain there. I do know that at some point, if I want to make my way to the other side of the mountain, which is over there to my southwest, on the southwest side of the mountain over there, the circle isn't quite on the mountain, so we'll see what happens. We're now in the top 8. The music is starting to play. You know what that means. The video is going to come to an end in just a few seconds, but we'll see how this plays out. Folks are dropping like flies. Here I go. I'm going to make my push. I'm going to head over there to the right side.
Nope.
And there you have it. And that's the end of that run. You can see I placed number 8. Not too bad for not picking up a gun or anything. Hey, if you like videos like this, hit that like button, and I'd be super appreciative if you hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. My name's Russ, also known as RK Slade, and I'll see you in the next video.